Mine was Taffy Barton.
Oh. What's yours?
Cherry Beeford?
So we're back for another episode of everyone's favorite podcast / web series, Behind the Bar, with the amazing Courtney Kounkel, who is the owner and founder of Monarch Build, who has a questionable lower back tattoo that we'll get into at some point, who is an expert golfer, who always has the best laugh in every room. When I think of you, I think of like you putting your head back and laughing. Great laugher. Yeah.
You didn't know that was coming.
No, I'm like, that's exciting.
And who today was dressed by none other than this guy.
Sorry, you look like a lesbian.
That's all right. That's a compliment.
That's it. So welcome. Thanks for being here.
Can I clap for myself?
Yes, of course. We clap for ourselves on this show.
What are we drinking today?
Red wine.
Oh, I thought you were going to fuck with me.
No. Champagne.
I got your red wine.
All right.
I'm great at that.
Red wine. Do you have a varietal that you like, that you prefer?
I prefer Pinot Noir, although I will drink others, but I do like the Pinot's lighter.
It's because you have excellent taste in wine.
Is it because it's the same as yours?
Yes.
100%.
That's right.
Yes. My favorite
Didn't
grape.
take you long to figure that out.
Syrah is probably my all-time favorite, and Grenache, and but any of that.
Are we cheersing?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
cheersing.
Are we
We're
doing?
so happy to
do we
hear
do this
you.
though?
Sure. Let's. It's
well,
not.
what's
It's not an old wine. You don't
Is
have
that?
to.
Oh, is that
swirl
why you
around.
do that?
You
Yeah.
should stick your nose in it a
Cheers.
bit.
I think yours has
Cheers.
lipstick on it.
Those are my lips right there. That's my chapstick.
From right now?
Just now.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, now we're cheers again.
Cheers.
Smell it, then drink it.
Oh, it's delicious.
It has
It definitely has more flavor.
a smokiness to it or something. There's like
That's so fucking good.
No, it's not
I
oaky.
didn't say
You
it
don't
was
like
good.
that peanut?
I said it's good.
Oh, it's
I
good.
just said it has like a smokiness to it.
It's gonna get even better in a minute.
As it breathes.
As it breathes. Let's look at the legs, shall we?
I don't know all the rules about wine.
Come
Like,
on,
this
give
is
it
the
a little
problem.
twirly around.
I want to be like I know everything about wine person, and I'm learning.
Okay, so
Yeah.
from the beginning of Behind the Bar, people were like, why don't you interview the woman who built the KC Current Stadium? You should do that. And I was like, way too cool for me. She'll never talk to me. And then I forgot I have this like amazing best friend, and I'm at this KC Current event, and you're speaking, and I'm avoiding you because I'm scared of you. And I look over, and Haley's like friends with you.
Yeah, well, we did a kind of a mutual fundraising thing 2 years ago. Was it 3?
Maybe I don't know.
3. I know. We kind of
No.
lost time at the stadium.
You're talking about HNC?
Yeah.
That was just last fall, like not this like few months ago, but
Yeah.
the one before that.
Okay, so
Not that long ago.
not that long ago.
Yeah.
So my parents have started a nonprofit for head and neck cancer survivors, and Courtney
familiar.
was one of the lead fundraisers, and what are they called?
Was
those
a co-chair.
people? Co-chairs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool.
That's right. It's the
One of their
formaldehyde in
fans,
my
yeah.
brain
Yeah.
from the hangover is what that prevented that word from coming to the surface.
But
So,
also, you're
yeah.
like the coolest person in Kansas City right now.
I don't know about that.
most
but
sought,
thanks.
Yeah.
most sought after. Mhm,
Yeah.
for sure.
For sure.
And so for those folks who do not know, can you talk to us about a small
That we're all wearing?
project?
I dressed them. I dressed them today. These are all my shirts. The belly shirt.
You know what?
Mine's a little
I
snug,
was
but
so fucked up when I cut that belly shirt, but I did it. And yours looks great. Okay.
hey,
Yes.
I
we are
mean,
the
it
same
feels
size.
a little
we
tight.
Are the exact same
No, you
size
look great.
person.
You look great. So tell
Right.
for the viewers and listeners at home who maybe can't see your face or don't know this project that you've done, can you talk about life-changing, world-changing, sport-changing project that you were a part of, and what was your role?
yeah. So CPKC Stadium is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Home of the Kansas City Current, which is also the first stadium ever built for a women's professional team of any sport in the entire world. Just so you know.
You can say that
Fast.
again more slowly. Say the only stadium.
The only stadium built for a women's professional team of any sport in the entire world was built in Kansas City.
By
By
you.
you.
With your bare hands.
totally hammer and nail. With my company.
Yes.
We did joint venture with J. Dunn, which
Correct.
I always want to correct
Yes,
people
of course.
because they were a fabulous partner, which doesn't always happen when the big contractor and the little contractor get together. Sometimes the little contractor just gets squashed.
Yeah.
That was not the case. I mean, we really felt like peers, 50-50, which was amazing.
Awesome.
But that was also really important to both J. Dunn and the ownership of the Current, right? I mean, we would have built the stadium ourselves had we been a bigger company. It was a much bigger project than we could do ourselves. But we built the Kansas City Current's training facility first.
Yes.
We did that just Monarch.
Yes.
And then the stadium
Which is equally cool. I've been
so
to and been
cool.
inside and
Me
had
too.
meetings.
Yeah.
My son played soccer there. He's terrible.
Well,
He's
how
not.
old is he?
He's going.
We know already.
He was 5 at the
Okay.
time. He didn't.
It's not going to be his
score
thing.
any
No.
He's not, but he's trying. Who
We are
cares?
doing
Yeah,
Aunt
no,
Haley
it's
told
not.
him.
It's not a critique. It's
Aunt
not a
Haley
critique.
said, "This is no."
I actually did it. This guy did.
You told me to say that.
I said if it's not
This
his
is
thing,
wrong.
it's okay. It's
So
okay.
let's move
Yeah.
on down the road.
Do you think he'll find another sport, or you think
Oh.
just
No.
no? That honestly was like, yes, I felt like you were going to name some other great sport.
No.
Well, my oldest pole vaulted, so I mean, there's
Yeah,
that.
no,
like you
no,
can,
no shot
you
at
don't
that.
have to play a team sport
That's
to play
right.
a sport.
Well,
That's
I'm
right.
thinking through my head like any individual. I like holding
Give me-
it. I'm
okay.
feeling like really.
You're like, you might
Okay.
stab me.
I know. I'm like,
all right, take it away. No.
Yeah.
I love my son.
Of course you do.
If there were, say, like a slow
Competitive.
dance competitive music party, I think he could kick some ass because he does these like really theatrical moves,
Broadway.
and it'll be like
he's
it'll be
incredibly
like let me
artistic.
go into
Let's
the
do
this,
it.
and then he's like,
Yeah.
and you're like, wow, that was amazing, yeah, things like that.
All right.
Yeah. I mean,
This
like
thing's going to be something else.
Yeah,
That's right. Just sports aren't his.
but you built the KC Current Stadium.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
so we
Well,
played
we have
soccer
to
out there.
say
Yeah.
CPKC Stadium.
That's the,
home of
yeah,
the
they
Kansas
paid a
City
lot of
Current.
money.
Okay,
to make sure we call it
CPKC.
CPKC
I can't say the
Stadium.
Current Stadium. Can I do it though? 'Cause
It's the
I-
home of the
of the
Kansas
Kansas
City
City
Current.
Current.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
But
mess
it's
that up a few
CPKC
times.
Stadium.
Listen,
It's all right.
Listen,
You'll get
I'm
used
the
to
HR
it.
department here on the show, so I'll keep her on track.
That's frightening.
Yeah. Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct. Okay. So,
Anyway,
yeah,
back
tell,
to the-
tell
yeah.
the story. Like, tell us like as much as you can. Like, when you realized you were going to do this, give us the whole
It's a
thing.
great story.
Yeah. Come on.
So I actually went to high school with Angie Long, who owns the team.
What high school?
Shawnee Mission East
That's
High
right.
School.
You're a schmeester.
I'm a Schmeester.
That's where my kids will go.
And oddly, we played soccer together.
Amazing.
She played every sport and was amazing at all of them.
Yeah.
I was soccer and didn't make it to varsity. So there's that. But that's
Sounds
all right.
like
It
our
doesn't matter.
relationship.
I tried, right? Fast forward, Angie buys a soccer team.
yes.
And very quickly she...
Which was a bummer because I actually was thinking about doing that, and then
Oh, you were going to beat her to it.
yeah.
It's all right.
It's okay.
She hired Generator Studio to do the design of the stadium. And she is talking to them and says, gosh, wouldn't that be great if there was a woman-owned construction company that could build the training facility? Sorry, the training facility, not stadium yet. And one of the owners of Generator said, you went to high school with one.
Wow.
Yeah. She's like, oh my God, of course I did. Like, then she
Yeah.
remembered, like, it was just a moment.
It was
And
like
so
a click. Yeah.
that was it. I mean, I
Yeah.
literally got a phone call from Generator that said, hey, totally top secret. This is going down. Kansas City's going to get a soccer team.
Were you
There's
going
gonna be
to
a training
Like,
facility.
holy fucking
Oh, I
shit.
probably like did a little happy dance.
oh,
Like, I was pretty pumped.
I have goosebumps. I
Yeah,
have
it was
goosebumps.
so
Awesome.
cool.
Those are what.
And that was it. I mean,
that's
it
like a
was
phone call
like,
that
you're
changes your
just
life.
doing it. Like,
yeah,
and
you're
so-
all in. This is all in. You're all in.
Yeah, and I mean, of course I'm involved in projects in my own company, but nothing like I
No.
was in this one. I mean, this was both projects, but the training facility was my baby. You know, I mean, it was like, this is so special. This
Yeah.
is a once in a lifetime. And then the stadium comes and you're like, oh my God, I just trumped what I thought was my once in a lifetime.
No, you're literally
project.
doing the first thing that's ever been done.
Yeah.
Ever in
It's
history.
pretty amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And so, and I think what I always tell people about, like, the stadium's super successful, and Angie and Chris Long's vision was insane. And the fact that they had it and implemented it and continue to do that is incredible.
Yeah.
But that's only possible with a really great community around it. I mean,
Yeah.
the only reason the Kansas City Current is so successful is because the Kansas City fans, and actually outside of Kansas
Yeah.
City. I mean, we have people driving to
100%.
games that are
Yes,
Kansas City Current fans.
Well, I have season
Insane.
tickets next to two women who live in Nashville and fly in to watch the game.
Yeah.
Oh, I
that
didn't
doesn't
know
even
that. That's
surprise
amazing.
me. Yeah, it doesn't even
Yeah.
surprise me.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And so our fans are incredible, which
They're
makes
incredible.
it just that much more dynamic.
Well, it's
right?
funny that, like, not to digress, but I'm going to digress because last night I was drinking.
What?
And I was drinking
So
with
weird.
this guy, and
What?
there was a few other
Oh, that's what
people,
happened.
and we're all really into sports, and we were talking about KC Current probably
Because we're lesbians.
yes, and maybe they were asking who my
I
guest.
talk about Kansas City Current.
They were asking who our
You
guest
do.
was, and they started talking about bringing a WNBA team here, and my friend said that she felt like unless we could sell out the NCAA tournaments, then they probably wouldn't consider that. And I was like, well, I feel like that's a total disconnect because I think it's that stadium kind of proved it. Like, if you build it, they will come.
That's right.
And the energy around, obviously, the first ever women's stadium was a big deal. I mean, my niece talks about it in St. Louis, so it's a big deal for women's sports. But also, Kansas City rallies around, especially women's sports right now. That's where we're at, right? So it's perfect timing. So when you build that stadium too, that'll be fun to get a couple clicks in your belt.
I hope we get a WNBA team, but it doesn't look good.
We'll see.
Yeah. Oh,
we
you're
don't
not ready
speak
to.
like that,
Okay.
Gigi.
All right.
We
Sorry.
don't talk like that. Okay. We speak all things into existence.
All right.
And
I like
speaking
the
of
attitude.
speaking things into existence, so my full circle moment on opening day, when I walked in with my 6 nieces and nephews, as a former professional soccer player who played in high school stadiums, and literally got paid $14,000 a year to play professional soccer. Pay's not gone up much since then. But anyway, that I walk into the stadium with these 6 kids that I love so much, only one of whom is really into soccer, but the other 5.
Which one? Red. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But the other 5 they were as pumped as I was to be there. Mm-hmm. And to have this moment where even I have 2 nephews, they were so excited that they're watching their heroes out on the field in the stadium. And they keep saying to each other, built just for women, built just for women.
No joke.
And
My 3-year-old and my 6-year-old say it. They know it.
I cried at least 5 times. I don't even know. And I was just like, I grew up in Kansas City. I played soccer. When I was growing up, women didn't play professional soccer. So people would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'd say, if I could play professional soccer, that's what I would want to do. Mm-hmm. And to have that moment as someone who had done that in Kansas City in the community, it was incredible. It was incredible. So
How did you feel whenever people started coming into your stadium?
Oh, man, it was so amazing. So the sad thing is my family didn't come with me because we were in Costa Rica for spring break, and I flew back early. So I got on a plane at the crack of dawn and flew back so I could make it to that game. Actually, I flew the night before, but I got in at 3 a.m. and then it was a morning game. Mm-hmm. But you were talking about your nephew. To me, that's actually the best part.
Agreed.
Is that I think there's so many boys and men
my sister's
that are in
youngest,
the stadium, and that to me is more powerful
There's so many
than the
boys
women
and
being
men.
there.
Yeah.
Is that there's boys and men who would rather watch women's professional soccer than men's right now.
Obviously.
Because it's a better game.
It's a better game.
I mean,
and
it's
so
way more
my
finesse.
sister's youngest, he's the youngest boy in our family. His name's Tommy. He's 4. And if you ask him who his sports heroes are, he's saying women's soccer players that play for the Kansas City Current. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Who doesn't
When
love
my son played that, everybody, can you get her on the show, please?
We've been,
There you are again. Hey, creepy uncle.
I'm going to the
I
luncheon next
creepy
Wednesday, the
uncle.
kickoff luncheon. So I'll see
So
if
when
I can
my
find
son
her.
played
Maybe
that
we can make a little
terrible
video and you
game,
can show her.
when my son played that terrible game in your first stadium,
in my mini stadium.
in your mini stadium, I
they're
had
all
my
mine.
2-year-old daughter with me, and I do bring them to games as much as I can. And we're in the stadium, and he's playing terribly. And my 2-year-old looks up and sees the crest, and she goes, "KC, baby!" She's fucking 2.
That's amazing.
That's what you've done to children too.
I love that I'm getting all the credit. I really did. I got to be part of it. I got the honor
We're
of
here to lift you
participating.
up to
I
be
know.
the-
Cheers.
Yeah, no,
I get all the credit.
Good job.
It wasn't
Angie.
my money.
Good job.
And you scored all those goals last season.
All
Great
of them.
job.
Yeah.
Golden
it.
Boot Award winner. Well done.
What were a couple unique points about the stadium? Because I remember you doing a speech, or somebody was, about like how far everybody was away from the center or the pitch and all of these things. Can you talk to us about a few of those?
There's really no bad seat, right?
No,
Because
I agree.
I think we used to say 100 feet. You're basically like, no one's more than 100 feet from the edge of the pitch.
Was that your idea?
No. I wish I could take all.
I'm
I mean,
just
do you want me to
wondering.
take the credit
Yeah,
for
do
that?
it,
No.
yeah.
Actually, I'm sure that was between Generator and honestly, the Longs were super involved in every detail.
Yeah.
And I say that in a really positive way, in that they had a vision. I mean, they knew exactly the experience that they wanted fans to have. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times they would say, this is the fan experience we want.
Yeah.
This is the fan experience. I mean, they visited stadiums all over the world to say, this is what we liked from that. And this is what we liked from that. But what's nice about women's soccer is the smaller stadium is actually such an advantage because nobody's in a bad seat. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the suites are much lower. And that is becoming
this is
a
all the
trend
things I
in
want to know
stadiums.
right now. Yeah.
But
I love
you
that.
are at like in a stadium.
I
Often
hate
you're
talking about
getting
the
a bird's
suite,
eye
you
view.
know?
I hate
the
that.
suite. I'm like,
I'm not in a suite.
I've tried all the
Actually,
seats
I
out.
am in row 1. I
Yeah.
sit on the pitch. Literally, I can almost touch the grass.
Which is so great.
It's amazing.
I'm
Well,
row
and it's
3.
also a strategy. You're with the Gen Pop. It's
Yeah.
also a strategy
I'm like
with my
FF.
nieces and nephews.
FF.
Actually,
Row
my
FF.
nieces and nephews, because if they're right there, they're focused on the game. Like it's
that's a good
actually like a
strategy, yeah.
strategy because they're young.
Yeah.
For me. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to any.
But
cool
yeah,
things.
so I mean, it's just everyone's engaged in the game.
Yeah.
Like you can't actually get lost. I mean, we have 4 seats kind of near where you're sitting, but then we have 4 seats on the north end of right behind the goal or right to the side of the goal. If you're not paying attention, you're going to get whacked with a ball in the head, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, cool.
My kids prefer those seats over
Yeah.
the seats in the pitch club.
Yeah, cool.
Because they like the
They're
action.
not drinking.
What other things?
And
they
they're not
can
getting
drink.
free drinks.
What other
Yeah, they're
things-
underage.
What other
They can
things do you
drink.
think were like sort of unique about the stadium?
Food and beverage is unlike any other stadium.
As I'm saying,
It's
awesome.
it checks every box for allergies and
Gluten-free,
gluten-free and dairy-free. I
vegan.
mean, you
Yep.
name it, you've got options.
Yep.
But it's all local food. So it's all like
and it's
even
all I mean, it is like KC, like you
all
walk
local
in that,
famous
and
Kansas
you're
City
just like,
food.
I'm home.
Yeah,
You know, like
which
that-
is amazing.
Yeah.
I do think that sometimes people wish there was just, well, there is a hot dog, but like nachos and which
Yeah.
you can still get there. But
Yeah.
I think the culinary experience is
Yeah.
is also an experience.
I'm sorry.
Where
That's
at a lot of
gross.
stadiums
Go to
it's
Quick
not.
Trip, which we would
We're
love
looking
to
for
have a
sponsors.
sponsor,
Quick
like
Trip.
I
I ate your taquitos.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
1 in the morning. I came home from the queer bar the other day.
this guy.
And I was like, I could really go for a taquito. from Quick
Is that a
Trip.
word?
What is it?
Taquito?
Taquita?
No, it's not.
What is it called?
And now you've ruined it. I can't. I don't even know because you
know
said it so
exactly what I'm
badly.
talking about. Yeah.
Taquito.
Taquito!
Is it
It makes
taquito?
way more
Like it came to me.
Quadillo.
That
or whatever.
shit is so good at 1:32 a.m.
You didn't even say Quadillo. That actually sounds like it could be something.
I woke up and like the next morning, I look over and I'm like, oh, there's some taquitos. Shit got real.
Oh wait, because you just have the wrapper there.
Yeah, no, they were still. It was like, you know,
didn't
I
even eat 'em.
had like kind of tested the waters.
You had like one and there were 2 remaining.
Yeah,
or something.
exactly. I
Yeah.
over order
Yeah.
taquitos.
Yeah, but also, come on, don't be so basic, fans, to be like, I miss the fake cheese. You can go get fake cheese other places.
it's true.
Very good point.
It's true. How big is your company?
We're tiny when it comes to people. So we're less than 20 people.
I
Believe it or
saw
not.
all
I
of your
know.
photos on your website.
So we don't
That's
we
wild.
don't
Website.
self-perform anything. So we can be smaller.
Uh-huh.
We manage with superintendents and project managers.
Yeah.
Which is a cool business model. That's a cool business model.
Yeah, it works for
Yeah.
us. It allows us to really hire the right trades.
And you're
and
the
different
only
trade
owner?
partners. I am the only owner.
And you're a mom.
Me too.
And I always love,
It's lovely.
One of them. Anyway.
Lovely. I've had
Yeah.
partners.
Yes, yes.
and you're a mom, so I always love to like pivot a little bit there.
Yeah.
Because you're like being a badass mom. How old are your kids?
So I have a junior and a senior in high school and a sophomore in college.
Okay.
I'm like counting my kids on my
I'm like,
fingers.
that's a very good job. So how do you balance? Do you balance?
don't say that word.
No,
We can't
so,
say balance?
No, I actually
We don't
stopped
balance
saying
is bullshit.
Work-life balance, I stopped saying.
Thank you.
You got
It's
rid of
not a
all of
thing.
it.
What do you say?
I actually still
Life
say
is in
balance, but I say
alignment.
I'm balancing my life.
Yeah.
Like just my life in general
Things,
is all.
things in your life
I
are
like
in
alignment.
How do
I
we
do a whole talk.
How do you
Yeah.
stay?
Oh, I need it.
How do you stay in alignment as a working mother? That's kind of a celebrity, right? Not a kind of. You're a celebrity in Kansas City now.
I'll go back for you because this is my second company. So when I started my first company, I had 2 partners, and I started it when I had 3 infants,
Little
basically.
kids.
I had 3 kids in less than 3 years, short by 11 days.
Was that a
Holy
plan? Was it a
moly.
plan? Was it a plan?
Yeah, and I would have had a 4th, but my husband
Cut
me
you off.
Um,
Pow, pow, pow.
yeah, I wanted to have them quick because I wanted to like be in the funk with whatever it was that like we wanted to be
Yeah.
diapers and wipes and
Yeah.
formula and all that at
Yeah.
once, and then move on to the next phase.
Yep.
Um,
That trends for me. That's on brand.
yeah, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
you get it over with, and then you go to the next fun phase.
Every time I
right?
try to get my wife pregnant, I'd be like, sorry, go on.
I'm supposed to laugh. You said backwards, but I don't laugh backwards.
I
laugh
forward.
forward.
No, but you like laugh. It's like this.
I still want to know why you think I'm a good golfer, but we'll get back to that because you said that.
I
I'm
did.
actually.
We also talked about a low back
You
touch.
told me that.
Yeah.
And I'm
No.
not interested in golf, so we don't have to talk that much
I
about
swing
it.
and miss.
It's my least
like
favorite
that's how
topic.
bad I am. But
Okay.
anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, so life alignment.
Yeah.
I think it's finding a good partner in life. Like that is the only way I've survived my career.
Yeah.
So do you have a wife? Because we think
No.
having a wife is the life hack of the world.
Maybe he's kind of like a wife.
He's great. He's perfect.
He's a perfect
He just
partner
happens
for
to be a
you.
man.
He has a penis.
No.
Yeah. So, but he has made it possible for me, and he works full time. So he also, I mean,
Wow.
we've both had careers, but he totally does his share. There is no
Awesome.
expectation that I clean
it's
or
perfect.
cook.
That's good
or
because
all
I have
that.
talked to a lot of straight women, and they're like, my husband does nothing. He's just terrible at the life alignment part. But you've got a good partner.
It's amazing.
He's amazing. He's kicking ass. So you don't have like that. Do you have like the weekends that you have to work? Do you have the nights that you have to work? Or are you
sometimes.
pretty? Yeah, I bet when you're building the first women's stadium in the history of the world, you're probably working a lot of nights and weekends.
Correct. Okay, so one thing
What do you
that's
got?
been sort of percolating for me as you've been speaking is this idea of how your lived experience of who you are, how that has impacted the company that you run, the career that you do. So what I'm getting at is you're a woman in a male-dominated industry. I am too in the gym business. And for many years of my career, I thought in order to be seen as a good leader, I had to do things that I saw men do, right? And so one of those was I had to be I had to make decisions fast, because if I make a decision fast, it means I'm confident with the decision, right? Be decisive. And what I have found is that my superpower is my intuition, and I call it the cauldron. And it is, put it in the cauldron, baby. And you tell me, I hear some information, instead of speeding up, I slow down. And I'm like, oh, this is really important decision I'm gonna make. Let me think about it. And then I go away and I think about it and whatever. So all of that to say, my leadership is unique to my lived experience, and I think as a woman, honestly. And so instead of trying to mimic other leaders, my own personal experience influences the way that I lead. And right now, we're using words like DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion like they're dirty words. But I think that your lived experience makes you uniquely qualified to do what you do. And I'd love to know, what are the things about who you are that make you a standout in your field?
You're so much better than questions than I am.
She's like,
A lot.
yeah, tell me.
What's funny, you stole my word superpower, because I tell people all the time that I think being a woman is your superpower.
Yeah.
And don't try to be like the men, because then you're taking away your superpower, which is you are a woman.
And
it is what
that
it
is your
is,
lived
and own it.
experience. Yes.
Because you bring a completely different perspective that they don't have, which is really valuable.
Yes.
And if we all listen to each other, we'll end up at better solutions.
Yes.
If we're hearing different perspectives.
And that is called diversity.
Yes.
It's not a bad word.
And by the way, I think a ton of industries are male dominated
Definitely.
originally,
Definitely.
right? Hopefully we're starting to
Yes.
tip that. I don't think we're there yet, but we're definitely on a path that's better than it was.
Yeah.
When I started in construction, if I went to a job site, 100% of the time, anybody on the job site thought I was the architect. Which, by the way, that's my degree, was architecture. I just never practiced. I always went straight into construction. But it's very different now. I mean, now, there are a lot more women in construction, not a majority, but that's not uncommon anymore, which is nice. But it's still very common to be the only woman or one of two women at the table. So, you just have to own it. I mean, that's what I've just decided early on. I mean, I think there's also some women will try to become like the men, or they get really tough and they almost is this. Do we get to cuss?
Yeah.
I mean, of course. Yeah. I was like, you're just the bitch. It doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
You can say it in the same words, in the same tone, and you're a total bitch and they hate you.
Yeah.
And they go have beers with the guy who said the same thing later.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
buddies.
100%.
There's nothing we can do about that. So that's the other thing I decided early on in my career is I can't change them.
Yeah.
All I can do is change how I react to it. And I just don't care. Like, I'm not going to react. I'm not going to change who I am because they are just choosing to perceive me differently.
I love it.
The other thing
I would say you really are if I were to just be like, what are the fields that are the most male dominated? You are in that field. So like, you have to have that mentality.
Yeah. The other thing I decided early on in my career is you get whistled at sometimes, maybe less now.
I mean, when
I was young,
I would not.
When
get
I was like
at.
25, getting whistled at, and there were some people who thought I should be super offended and be like calling their boss and telling them, and I'm like, we also have a choice there too. I can either be offended by it and I can make a big stink, and that's not gonna be very popular, or I can go, must look good today. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
And that's what I just decided to do. So I was like, because this is not the battle I'm going to take. Quite honestly, they likely meant it in a sweet way anyway.
Yeah.
They really probably didn't mean it bad.
Yeah.
Although they shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
That wasn't their intent. And so let's choose our battles. Let's just take on the things that are worth
You do almost
fighting
have
for.
to even know what battles you do choose. I like that choose your own battle thing, because I feel like for me, I'm in real estate, obviously, which isn't
more women in yours.
so
because residential real estate, or are you doing commercial too?
both, but mainly residential, and there is a lot more women, but also it's just like your industry, kind of the top 5% are doing 95% of the business, and in that pool, it's a lot of men, right? It's a lot of, and you do have to a real estate agent that's just getting into the industry was feeling like every male wasn't taking her seriously. And I'm like, you have to set that tone as soon as you start. Like, for me, one of my, this is a strategy. Like, the very first time I'm talking to somebody that I'm going to go into a co-op situation in, I'm setting that tone. Like, I am like, you are not going to bullshit me here. I'm going kind of toe to toe energetically immediately. But I talk to women a lot differently. If I'm going to go co-op with a woman, it's a totally different strategy for me. It's like, I'm honoring you. We're solution based. We're going to be empathetic, and it was really unique.
I don't know why anyone thinks that women can't rule the world. Just what you just said, that you're code switching.
I code switch. Do you
code switch? Solutions based, collaborative, where I'm gonna hold space for you. And with guys, you're like, from the jump, you're like,
it's 100% true. And I hadn't really recognized it until this newer agent was sort of like, they're not taking me seriously. I'm like, you're not setting that out of the gate. Like, I have made grown men cry in my industry, and I swear to God, I have.
I've seen it.
I have.
It's
And
great.
I have men that are scared of me. And then 90% of the women in the industry is like, she has like fucking biggest pushover in the world. You know what I mean? So what do you feel?
I don't know. I mean, I'm often dealing with or working with men. And so I don't know. Actually, I'd love to ask them what they think of me.
Yeah.
I think younger in my career, I was probably way more tough and like, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think as I've progressed in my career, I'm probably softened, to be honest. More
Well, you have
going,
your
I kind of
accolades.
earned my spot.
You've earned your spots. Yeah.
And you either take me seriously or don't, but I have choices elsewhere. Like, I don't have to participate if it's not good. And it's like when people come and if you work with me at Monarch, you know you're coming to work with a woman.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're not making that choice if you don't like it.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that
a little
helps
bit of a
too.
different situation there,
Yeah.
for sure.
And
Yeah.
again, like I think over my career, times have changed better. I'm not saying it's perfect, but
Yeah.
like it's definitely improved over
And
time.
softening and vulnerability is sort of a superpower too, in and of
Yeah.
itself. So cool that you're at that stage in your career where you feel like you can have that.
Yeah.
I've always
Totally.
said managing women is different than managing men. And so being an athlete, I'm very comfortable speaking in directives because my coaches spoke to me in directives, right? Like, and all I wanted was to get better. So I didn't need you to be like, how was your weekend?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Like, they were like, do this, do that, right? And I was like, great. And so I found working with men on whole, unless they were also an athlete, and I've got a ton of female athletes that work at the gym, but they just receive the information. You can be like, Ian, pick up that towel. And he's like, okay. And I'd say, so keeping the gym clean is something that's really important to me. And so one of the things I'm really focused on when I'm doing my shift is making sure that everything's really clean. So like, I noticed that towel over there. So I'm going to grab it and put it in the, oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
And Ian's like, okay.
I mean, so, and that's, of course, I'm making
No, I'm
major
laughing because I get it.
generalizations.
Yeah.
But there are times when I find it to be kind of refreshing to just be able to be directive. And I feel like I've built enough of a relationship and a shorthand with the women that work with me that I can be that way and they're fine.
Yeah.
But I actually don't mind that. I'm actually just like, put the weight away. I'm not going to ask you like, how many swipe rights did you do this week? Like I just put the weight away. Like we're trying to
Swipe rights.
Yeah, just trying to clean the gym.
I have always done the like just do that, or here's what I need, or if you want me to review something, here's the fix.
Yeah.
And I have found that I have had to, especially with women I'm working with, is go, okay, you need to understand my type. I'm just gonna. I mean nothing by it. There's no judgment. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
But I got a lot on my plate.
Yeah.
I'm churning through what I need to do. You asked for my input. I'm giving it to you without judgment.
It's 100% not
But don't
even
go back to your
personal.
desk and cry because I bloodied it in red. It's just do what you want with
You're
the data
being a
I gave you
high-functioning
and
boss.
come back. Yeah. So I'm like, that is sometimes hard because I think the expectation is that I'm going to be softer, which I just said I'm soft, but
apparently
you're
actually
still not soft
I'm not
enough.
like
I will tell you, I think you and I are very
I just
similar.
move quickly.
I think we're more similar than I understand exactly what you're saying. And like, for me, you know, I'm when I'm working, I want to get as much done as possible. Like I'm working, I want to fucking be productive and I want to multitask and I want to stay on track. And that does in itself sometimes lose some emotion that maybe I can't imagine running a team. Like, so that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's not for me. I'm not, that's not
You probably
for me.
could.
No, I
You just would
couldn't.
have to.
No, I couldn't. People, no.
You're like, bad idea.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't work.
But I think also I surround myself with people that are smarter and better than me anyway.
Duh. Yeah,
and
you
they
gotta
can
do that.
manage people even better. So
Okay, so we've covered most of your like career stuff. Give us a little backstory, like who you are, where you're from. Tell us a little bit more about your family. We like to have all the juicy
All the
stuff.
deeds.
And why construction?
okay. So obviously I grew up here. We talked about that already. I left Kansas City with everything I ever wanted. Was never going to come back to this horrible, terrible city. Went to school in Colorado. Spent
saw that.
3 years. Oh, just see it on my resume.
did, yeah.
So I went to the University of Colorado. That's where I got my diploma, but I spent my senior year in Denmark. And so I lived in Copenhagen for that year, and then I wanted to stay. So I stayed for another year and a half. So I was there 2.5 years.
Cool.
And I had a kind of glorified job for the University of Copenhagen, the study abroad program. And I toured students around Europe, Western Europe and Eastern Europe. Yeah, it was great. It was a fabulous job.
Yeah.
But then eventually you get kicked out of Denmark because they don't really want extra people to pay for.
They're the happiest
So they were
people
like,
in the
how about
world.
you leave?
They're the happiest people in the world. They don't need you coming and bringing your bullshit.
Right.
That's right.
So when I came back, I had this architecture degree and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And so
Oh my God, what would you do with an architecture degree?
but I didn't want to be an architect
I
at that
know,
point.
I know.
Yeah, you're done with that.
What I figured out as I was touring Europe, looking at all this beautiful architecture, is I was like, that architecture is never coming out of my brain. I should have been an engineer. Like I'm way more black and white. I don't know how, I was super efficient architect student.
Yeah.
I was not winning any awards.
Yeah.
So when I moved back to Kansas City, which by the way, I missed the part about why I moved back to this terrible,
Yes,
horrible place.
yes.
Fell in love.
First of all, when you leave, you realize Kansas City is fabulous.
It's
and
why
that it's
everyone should
really,
leave.
they should 100% leave so they can appreciate
I did.
that it's affordable.
For the
People are
same reason
genuinely
we left.
nice.
Mhm.
Great opportunities career-wise. You can
Food's great.
travel
Food's
to all
great.
the other places super easy. Mountains, ocean, wherever
right.
you want to go.
Yeah.
Food's amazing.
Cost of living's
we have
great.
all
Cost of
those
living
things.
is great.
So I
Stay
have a
outta
month
here.
of vacation that I have to burn before I know I'm leaving the country in November. And so I come back in the summer and I meet my husband. But
And he's hot.
his dog was adorable. Is really the
Oh,
story.
the dog hook.
So my sister says to me,
And he's hot.
while you're here, you need to meet Cute Guy at the Park. And I'm like, what's Cute Guy at the Park's name? She's like, I have no idea. His dog's Scout, but he's really hot and he's at the park every day at 5:00. So I would borrow my sister's dog and go over to the park at 5:00. And I would lie. I would say,
Sisters are fucking
and she
heroes.
totally introduced me to my husband. So I would go and say, oh yeah, I'm just helping my sister out. She's at the library studying. So I'm just,
Yeah.
here at 5:00, letting out the dog.
Show me your body.
She's at her house, by the way.
Pull up your
Show me
shirt.
her. She's totally
Pull up your
laying
shirt.
on the couch at home while I am stalking said now husband.
What's his name? Hot boy.
Matt.
Matt Hot boy.
But it gets better. So
Yeah.
I
In a
go to
distressed
leave and he was
bath.
just starting chiropractic school. And so I was very nervous that he would not pay the expensive money to call me overseas these next 3 months. So I set up an 800 number and I tell him,
You are an engineer brain.
I tell him it's a perk of my job that they give you an 800 number so your family can call it. Because I knew if he knew I was paying for it, he wouldn't call it. So worked like a charm.
Is this?
He
called me
He
all the
wouldn't tell
time.
the same story.
Oh yeah, no.
From his version, he would say,
100%
I would have found
would.
fucking any reason to call her. Because
No.
you were the hot girl at the park, and he just wanted you to lift up
You
your
should
shirt.
ask him. I didn't tell him. I think we were married when I finally was like, by the
you
way, the
gotta
800
be
number.
married
I
before
paid for
you
that.
tell him that story. And by the way,
It was
good
totally
job
a
on
top
your part.
secret. Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
So wait, you were
Yeah, like
so
a-
wait, okay, hold on. You're bringing your sister's wiener dog to the park. You meet this hot guy, you want to see his body. You hang out with him 1 or 2 times?
oh, every day at 5 for
For
a month.
how long? A month. So we have 30 days of hangouts.
Yeah, and
Does
it's
he-
done. I'm
and is
done.
that
But he
Is
doesn't
he
ask you on
yeah.
a date at this time?
Oh yeah, no, we
Oh.
were kind of dating at
Okay.
that point.
Okay.
But
That's what I was
I'm
missing.
moving.
I was like,
back-
so
this
this
is
motherfucker's walking around.
this is August.
But
We've
their
dated
business
for
started.
28 days or whatever
Okay.
it is, right?
And it's good.
And I'm moving to
You've
Europe,
seen his body.
back to Europe for 3 or 4 months.
Copenhagen?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, I mean, he's a
Yeah.
guy. I
Yeah.
mean, he would have moved on. So I was like, how do I keep him hooked?
Strategery.
So I set
See,
up
we're
800
lesbians.
number.
After the first dog meeting at the park, we live together now.
There's no,
That's
no,
it?
yeah,
That's
100%. There's no
Most of the
reason
time.
to like give.
There's
it
no dating phase.
No. I mean, there might be
helping
a
you
singular
Right.
date.
helping you all from one to the next. It's a
That-
real estate business I've discovered.
You go from one house to the next.
That's what lesbians
One
do.
girlfriend to
Yeah.
the next girlfriend?
Well,
There's a lot
yeah.
of serial dating, but
Okay.
but a stereotype that is
That-
very accurate.
Oh, I was just going to ask you.
It's a
Wo-
stereotype.
women
It's
can't
very
date,
accurate.
right? So women
Okay.
can't date. So they meet a cute woman at the dog park and they think, I want to see
They
her.
write her
And
a
I hope
poem.
that they write her a poem.
It-
Maybe
that
they
night-
try.
Oh.
that
they try-
night in Bath.
They
We don't
say,
write
I
poems.
casually play guitar. Do you want to come over and hear me casually play guitar or something weird like that?
Yeah, definitely.
And
there's a
then they
guitar in there.
kiss. Then they kiss.
Mhm.
And then they're married.
That's correct. That is the timeline. That is it.
That is not how it worked over here.
No, you got a 1-800 fucking number for this guy.
It took 3 years
The
for him to
reason
propose.
she said, listen, the reason she said, no, he's going to say, I find any way to call her, because she's in her lesbian brain.
That's what lesbians would do.
Lesbians
you're like,
would
done. We've been done.
swim across the water to Denmark. They'd be
They
like, I
did.
took up
They did.
swimming.
Do you remember
That's
what's the lesbian story where she just swam across the water with her lesbian lover going?
The story of
Oh,
Diana.
and she
Yeah.
swam
Yeah.
like some crazy
Yeah.
Brazilian
English Channel.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
swam the
No, I
English
saw
Channel
that.
with
Yeah.
her lesbian lover on a boat.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Yeah. I mean,
gang.
that's not quite the story, but we're getting there. It was close. That's like the very Cliff Notes version. But anyway, yes. So that is hilarious and adorable. And then it took him 3 years to propose.
Yeah.
How long have you been together now?
We met
Longer
in
than 19
1998. So when I moved back from Denmark, I like need to get a job, right? Every architect in town in late 98 was hiring. I could have gotten a job anywhere purely because they just wanted a hot body. Not that I was amazing. And I mean warm body, not
Hot
hot.
body.
Can we just start loving ourselves more? You have a hot body, own it.
Yeah, you have a hot
right.
body. I mean,
But
a
I
man
knew
called
I didn't
1-800
want-
number for you.
Can we get
Austin.
our HR involved, please?
So I start telling anybody who would listen to me that I have this saga. I have this degree. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And so I'm at this holiday party it was an architecture firm that I was helping out and I'm telling this man that I have this dilemma. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, whatever. This person calls me like 5 days later. This is back when you have a tape voicemail, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like a landline.
I do remember those days.
He calls, leaves me a message on my tape recorder and says, "Hey, this is Bob. Give me a call."
Bob the Builder.
And I listen to it and I'm like, ooh, gross. He's hitting on me and he's old.
I
and
have hot
older,
Matt, not
not old.
interested.
But I was like, I'm
So
not calling him back.
he's my
Don't
age.
call him back.
He's 47.
You don't call him back.
No. A week later, I get another call from Bob that says,
This is why lesbians fall in love so fast.
because it was so cute. No, he leaves another message that says, "Hey, got to thinking that first message seemed a little weird.
Great for him.
I'm actually
That's
calling
called
you because
self-awareness.
I know what you should do for a career. Call me back."
Okay.
So
Thank
I
you
call
for
him.
clarifying, Bob.
Yeah. So I call right back and he says, "You should be a contractor. You should be in construction. And I'm going to introduce you to a construction company and they're going to hire you." And they did. Like that is exactly what happened. So he, oddly enough, you guys, late 90s, I go work for a majority woman-owned construction company.
Wow.
Which
Here
meant
in
nothing
Kansas
to me.
City?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Schweiger Construction. So it was owned by
Schweiger.
2 women and 1 man, a
Yeah,
brother and a
Schweiger.
sister and a third.
Yeah.
Cool.
And they were like, "Who are you and what can you do?" And I'm like, "I have no idea."
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know if this is a good idea for either one of us.
That's how Ashley goes on
Let's
first
give it a
dates.
whirl. So we decide for
Right.
for 3 months, I'm going to come work for them for
Correct.
$28,000 a year.
I'm telling you, we were
Yeah.
killing it on our first jobs. I
Right.
made like 14, you were 28.
28,
girl.
but I said, if it works out, I want to make $35,000 after 3 months. And they said, okay, so end of 3 months.
$35,000?
Yeah, big money.
Yeah.
And then in 3 months,
You
I was
could
like,
get
I think I like
multiple
it. And they're like,
tapes.
we think we like
For the
you.
tape.
Done.
What was your role
Recorder.
to start?
So luckily it was a very small company who, you could do anything you wanted, right? You could wear any hat. That's
Yeah.
the advantage of a smaller company. Is
Yeah.
you can learn a lot fast. So I was a project manager.
Yeah.
So actually one of my first big projects, if we're going to cap the like sports world for me,
Yeah.
I built every building in the infield of the Kansas Speedway.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. As like a
Amazing.
a wingman to the owner of the company.
Yeah.
But he let me do as much as I wanted to. Yeah.
Well,
Again,
Bob,
no hammer
I
and
would
nail.
like to raise a toast to
But
Bob.
to
Hey,
Bob,
Bob.
I know.
Bob the Builder. Is he still alive and in your life?
Oh yeah. I touch base with him every so often.
Hello, Bob.
Yeah.
We
Good job.
love
Bob's a good guy.
Also, way to recognize being a creep that first call.
Mm-hmm.
We love a
It felt
non-creepy
creepy.
Bob.
Way to recognize
Yeah.
it. Like,
We
that
love
came
a
across wrong.
non-creepy Bob.
Yeah.
We do.
Should we speed round it? What percentage gay are you?
10.
10%.
That's big.
I felt like you had one, so I wrote
Yeah.
this down.
Yeah.
Who's your doppelganger, celebrity doppelganger?
Who do people say you look
Oh, who was in Top Gun? Who's the one?
Yes, the
Yeah.
lesbian.
Yeah, because I have wavy hair like her. I straighten my
Huh?
hair every single day.
Kelly
Yeah.
Kelly McGillis.
Kelly McGillis!
Yeah.
Oh,
I see
she's a
it.
Yeah.
babe.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I also, there's a
Woo!
teacher at Prairie
HR.
Elementary who apparently I look exactly like.
A librarian where?
A teacher at Prairie Elementary who I look exactly
Oh,
like.
that's so
I get
funny.
called
Well,
out by
look out
old
for her.
students all the time.
If you had to change your first name, what would you change it to? It's a weird question.
I don't know.
But
if I know.
she said hers earlier. I was like,
What was yours?
Kate.
she
My
just-
daughter's Kate.
she
I
just
just
named-
love the name Kate.
It's great. I named her just Kate. K-A-T-E.
Just Kate.
Just
Yeah.
Kate. I
What
know.
would you
nothing
choose? Like
longer.
if people were
My
like,
sister-in-law
they could be
was
like,
like-
oh, and that's your name.
So my French name was Josephine.
Ooh, I like
I
it.
liked it, and I picked it, so I must have liked it.
Okay. And we call you Jojo.
Josephine.
If you were
Josephine,
to write a
Jojo.
book, what would it be about?
Oh, I've got this. I have a couple of them actually. I would like to write my life story because it's actually there's a lot more to tell you.
What the
But
Like
I
a
can't tell
memoir?
you
You
today.
wanna do a
yeah,
memoir?
I could do a memoir.
Okay.
And
You can't
the
tell us
other
today.
one
What are you
is
gonna-
I want to write a book about all the yuck in construction, like all
Yeah.
the ways that bad things happen that
Yeah.
people
I'd
don't know
read
about.
that. I would
yeah, and
read
it's
that.
super interesting.
What
There's
do
a
you
lot.
collect?
What do you mean the yuck? Help me. I'm a lay person. So like,
It's a speed round.
I know, but I need a little bit more.
Just think about this for a second. About 85 to 90% of the money that comes into a construction company goes back out. Just creates a lot of opportunity to do yucky things.
Got it. Okay.
That makes sense.
if you're not totally honest, which
Yeah.
by the way, I'm like
That's what you're known for.
ridiculously
Transparency.
yeah.
I can tell by your body language that you're an honest person doing good things. And your sweatshirt. What do you collect?
Because it's yours.
What do you collect?
I've changed over time. We started with pint glasses. Those were too big. And then we converted to koozies and we have too many. And now it's stickers.
She had such a quick answer for that.
You
What do
knew.
you collect?
Crystals. And hats. I have so many hats.
Hats for me.
I have like
You need a whole closet for hats if you collect them.
Who is your biggest celebrity woman crush? I threw the woman in just now.
You're so
Why'd
good.
you add women
This is
crush?
why we have HR.
I don't know. So here's the problem for me with celebrities. I can't remember any of their names.
Okay, just tell us something they've been in.
I know, which is what I did for Top Gun, but I don't
Okay,
know.
who's your
I don't
biggest
know.
celebrity crush?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I have one. I really don't.
All right, okay,
But that's
so
too hard to
Lola
answer because I
Bonta
don't know.
is
Oh, I do
her
love
celebrity
Lo.
What is
crush.
your favorite
And Kristen
restaurant?
Hamilton is actually my other favorite.
Yeah.
For
on
sure.
the team.
What's your favorite restaurant in Kansas City?
I have a new one as of yesterday, by the way.
Oh.
I just went to Buck Tooey barbecue.
Yeah.
Was that
He's
the
great.
greatest food I've ever had?
And he's married to Pam, who owns
I think a
Waldo
woman owns
Thai.
Buck Tooey, by the
No.
way.
Pam owns
Pam?
Waldo Thai.
Oh, I
Her
thought-
husband
okay.
does Buck Tooey.
That's right. She's so they.
I walked
there's
out
like a
with
Thai-
bottles of Tiger
Have you done
Fry
Waldo
sauce.
Thai?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
But
So-
I think I actually like Buck Tooey better.
They're,
Yeah.
they're
What
both
did you get?
so
What did you
good.
get?
Drunken noodles, we actually
I've
split,
had those. That's
and
delicious.
pad thai.
Yes.
So good.
So good. And the pineapple
Fried
fried
rice,
rice,
so good.
also good.
What
oh,
is
and the
an
crab rangoons. We ate
expensive-
a lot.
Yeah.
What is
Okay.
an expensive gift you would give yourself like right now?
A tennis necklace,
What?
Oh yeah.
diamond necklace.
What does
like,
that
Tennis
mean?
necklace.
Like a tennis bracelet
Like
with
a
all the
rapper.
diamonds.
What?
Oh, good God.
It is
What's happening?
it's a necklace that is made up only of diamonds.
Nothing to do with tennis?
No,
No.
I don't know why it's called tennis. Back in the old days,
So gay.
women must have played tennis with a diamond bracelet. But I wanted it to be a necklace.
You
Did
can
you
see
play
the,
tennis with it?
You can see the confusion. So many diamonds on a necklace.
All the way around, 100% diamonds all the way around it.
Love
Yep.
this for you. Love this for you.
You may buy it for me if you want.
Well, I'm going to let you buy yourself the tennis necklace, or we're going to call Hot Mike, because I think Hot Mike would have a problem with me buying you a tennis necklace.
For sure. He'd be like, I called a 1-800 number for 6 months.
Okay. What's your porn star
That is
name?
like the best.
What's your
Oh.
porn star name?
What was it? Like your first, the street? What is it?
Street you grew
the
up
street
on.
you grew up on.
Okay.
And what was the second
First name of the first pet.
Oh,
So pet-
which comes first?
Pet.
You can decide based on how it
Yeah.
sounds.
Rosie
Yeah.
Winonga.
Oh,
Rosie
Winonga.
Winonga.
That's a good
That's a
one.
pretty good
What's
one.
yours?
Did you say beefer?
My
Cherry
cat.
beefer?
My cat's name was Beeford. I was too.
That's kind of a gay animal name. Beefer? Wait, are you saying beefer?
Are you saying Beaver?
You can't.
Pelvic floor is not strong enough to laugh this hard.
You need to wear a pad.
Oh my god.
I'm crying. I can't breathe.
How old were you when you named this pet? Beefer.
2 or 3.
Beefer?
2 or 3. We picked up a kitten. It was my first pet.
Oh my God, you're crying.
And my dad said, "What do you want to name your cat?" And I go, Beeford.
Beeford? No, wait, she's saying Beefert.
Listen, I'm
I can't-
unclear.
I
I've
need
heard
you to spell
beaver,
it.
beefer.
I'm seeking
Can you spell it? Can you spell it,
I'm
male?
seeing-
I can't breathe. This is beef and Ford. Beeford.
Oh, Beeford.
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 Beef, Cherry Beeford. That is actually your new fucking drag name.
Can you ask her the last question?
Yes, if you were a drink,
Here, do you want me to just read them?
if you were a drink, what would you be and why?
Oh, that was a drink?
There's
Skinny
tears rolling up.
martini? I don't know.
A skinny martini?
Is there, margarita.
That's even
Skinny
better.
margarita. That's
Skinny
what
martini for Beeford.
for Beeford.
Also, there's only skinny martinis.
Yes, I know. That's why I said a skinny
I know, I
martini.
meant margarita.
What am I doing
The
wrong?
margarita.
The wine word.
You are legitimately crying.
Bro.
Like you have tears running down your face.
That was so good.
Thank you for being here.
Oh my God, that was
And
fun.
thank you for ending on this note of
You crying?
Sobbing.
Follow us on Behind the Bar, all of our Instagram Behind the Bar KC, Ashley and Haley. I'm crying still. This is tears of joy, not sadness. It might come across as sadness, but it's joy. Listen to us on Spotify. That's where I listen to us. It's weird because a little video pops up and there's our faces. It's super cool. YouTube has us. What else?
YouTube has us. Also, we're seeking sponsors. So if you are a business who would love to sponsor one of these episodes or a season or, you know, a tennis necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'd love that.
Yep.